Have you ever caught your baby staring at an empty corner of the ceiling and wondered, what on earth are they looking at? You are not alone. Almost every parent has felt that moment of confusion and worry. Today we are going to break down the real science behind this behavior, and by the end, it will completely change the way you see your baby. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe. New videos every week, real answers every time. Why babies stare at empty spaces. If your baby is between 0 and 6 months old, there is a very good chance you have already seen this. That long, deep, unblinking stare aimed at nothing. Maybe it is a ceiling corner, maybe it is a blank wall, maybe it is the edge of a window. According to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, a baby is born with a visual system that is still in the very early stages of development. At birth, babies see the world at roughly 20/400 vision, which means the world looks soft, blurry, and unclear to them in ways we as adults have completely forgotten. Their eyes naturally search for whatever is sharpest and easiest to look at. And the sharpest, most visible thing in most rooms is a high contrast edge, like the hard line where a white ceiling meets a darker wall. To their developing eyes, that corner is actually the clearest, most well-defined thing in the entire room. It is high definition in a world that is still loading. The science behind what they are seeing. Here is something that surprises most people. A newborn baby's eyes are working perfectly fine. The issue is not the eyes, it is that the brain behind the eyes does not yet know how to understand what it is seeing. The visual cortex, which is the part of the brain that processes everything we look at, is still being built and connected during the first weeks and months after birth. The American Academy of Ophthalmology confirms that a baby's ability to visually track a moving object does not even begin to develop until around 6 to 8 weeks of age. This is why they are pulled toward ceiling corners, the edge of a lamp, a window frame, or a shadow moving slowly across a wall. In a study published in Infant Behavior and Development, researchers found that infants as young as 3 months old showed a strong and clear preference for geometric patterns and high-contrast shapes, spending significantly more time looking at structured visual information than at plain, empty surfaces. They are actively hunting for data, how a baby's brain is learning. What looks like daydreaming to you is actually some of the hardest work a human being ever does. Every single time your baby locks their gaze onto a corner, a shadow, or a patch of light, their brain is building what scientists call neural connections, tiny pathways that link one part of the brain to another. And these connections build fast. Research in neuroscience tells us that in the first few years of life, a baby's brain forms approximately 1 million new neural connections every single second. A huge portion of those early connections are being built through vision, through exactly these quiet, staring moments. When your baby studies a hard edge or a shifting shadow, they are learning that two surfaces can meet and form a line, that light behaves differently than dark, that some things stay still and some things move. A study published in PubMed showed that babies as young as 3 months are already building shape representations in their minds, mental pictures of how the world is organized, even before they can speak a word or hold an object. It is your baby reading the world, one quiet, focused look at a time. Has your baby ever stared at a spot so hard that it made you look up too? How old were they And what spot was it? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Myths versus reality. Are they seeing something else? Now, let us talk about something that almost every parent thinks at least once. Across cultures all over the world, many people believe that very young babies can see things adults cannot: spirits, angels, or invisible energy. And the honest truth is, this belief comes from a very real observation. Babies do respond to things that adults completely ignore. But here is what the science actually explains. An adult brain has been trained over years to automatically filter out most of what it sees: a small flicker of light, a faint shadow shifting on the wall, a tiny movement at the edge of the room. A baby's brain has no such filter yet. Everything gets through. Every tiny flicker, every small shadow, every subtle shift in light that your brain quietly deletes. Your baby's brain receives it fully and responds to it. The Happiest Baby research on the 4th trimester explains this beautifully. In the first 3 months outside the womb, babies are still completing development that was not finished at birth. Their senses are wide open, more sensitive than they will ever be again. So babies are not seeing beyond this world. They are seeing more of this world because nothing has taught their brain to stop paying attention yet. That is extraordinary. What parents should know and do. The most important thing to know is this: in almost every case, a baby staring at empty spaces or ceiling corners is completely 100% normal. And it is a sign that their brain is doing exactly what it should at this stage of life. The American Academy of Ophthalmology advises parents to watch for a few key milestones. By around 2 months, your baby should begin to briefly track your face as you move. By 4 months, they should start reaching toward objects and responding to color and movement. If your baby is staring, but also smiling, reacting to your voice, and following your face by 2 months, everything is right on track. What you can do right now is gently join these quiet moments. Sit close, speak in a soft voice, and slowly move your face into their line of sight. You can also introduce simple black and white patterns nearby, which Happiest Baby recommends as excellent early visual stimulation for a developing brain. Trust the stillness. It is doing more good than you know. Now I want to ask you, has your baby hit any of these milestones early? Or are you still waiting for that first smile or eye track? Tell me in the comments how old your baby is right now and what stage they are at. Every parent here is going through the same thing, and your answer might help someone else feel less alone. Your baby is not staring at nothing. They are staring at everything all at once for the very first time. Every quiet moment, every blank gaze, every locked stare is their brain doing something truly remarkable. You are not watching a confused baby. You are watching a genius at work. If this video helped you, hit subscribe and share it with a parent who needs to hear this today. See you in the next one.